Mary Beth has learned she's got a new computer, a new speaker, a new camera, and never used this whole system before today. So, Cross Timbers chapter is Tarrant and Parker counties. If you happen to live outside those counties, we are able to enroll some folks who live outside Tarrant or Parker County. But we ask that your volunteer work be done in these two counties. So if you happen to live 5 counties over, it may be that a different chapter is best for you. We're part of the Texas Master Naturalist Program. Next. And I know when I first heard about this program, I thought Master Naturalist. You know, I can do certain things in science, but I'm not sure I'll ever be a master naturalist, especially since I started kind of late. And I want to say you don't have to let that phrase scare you away. It's a great name, and we're masters of learning how to learn more and learning who to ask. Michael and Laura and Banjo back there. I already asked them who was eating some of my tomatoes, and they had an answer. But a naturalist studies the natural environment, broad range of interests rather than with a particular specialty. We are not professionals in this chapter. We are not professionals of science. Some of you may be. But we like to do a lot of different things and learn about a lot of things. A naturalist instilled in me the mind and values of a naturalist, to be open to all possibilities, to be a close and careful observer, to discipline my interpretation with facts, and to work hard at my passions so that they might bear fruit. I've never looked up this book, but the title is very intriguing, right? The Snoring Bird. Next. So how do you become a Texas Master Naturalist? First of all, we want to emphasize the mission of the program. And I started in this program wanting to learn more. That's who I was. I wanted to learn. And several folks said, well, that's all good. Hey, that's all good, but we're here to volunteer. Yay, more food, more snacks, more drinks, yay. To develop a core of well-informed volunteers to provide education, outreach, and service dedicated to the beneficial management of natural resources and natural areas within their communities for the state of Texas. So as you can see, we're trying to be better informed. We have, one of our requirements is yearly advanced training, 8 hours, and we'll tell you how you can get that. It's not hard. You come to chapter meetings to get advanced training. We want to improve the public's understanding of natural resource ecology and management. If you're not sure what those phrases mean, you will learn it in training. And we want to enhance existing natural resource education and outreach activities. I'm going to probably say BC a few times. Right now, to me, that means before COVID. BC and BC, for example, here at the Nature Center, they'd have a fall festival and possibly a spring festival. And we would be here hosting a booth to tell people about different aspects of nature, and we help the staff as much as we can. So that's some of what we do. The program started in 1997 and it extended statewide in 1998, and you might be happy to know that I deleted about 7 more steps of history for all of our benefit. Today, there are 48 chapters around the state. Every county that's got a color besides white, every county has a chapter. A few of those chapters are over 20 years old. Cross Timbers is about, what, 23 years old maybe? So we're one of the first chapters. Alamo area was the very first. And I unfortunately have to admit that Dallas had a chapter, well, there was a combined chapter, Dallas-Fort Worth. And I guess they kicked us out. I don't know. Can I tell my Amon Carter? Well, of course, when I ask that question, I'm going to tell my Amon Carter story. Amon Carter, for those of you that are under age 50, used to be the publisher of the Fort Worth Star-Telegram, which is what back in those days we called a newspaper, right? It was made of paper. And there was a very deep dislike between Dallas and Fort Worth. And I have been told, it may not be true, but in the restrooms at the Fort Worth Star-Telegram building, there were signs that said, please flush, Dallas needs the water. So it sounds like Amon Carter. What do we do for our sponsoring agencies? Our two sponsoring agencies are Texas Parks and Wildlife and the AgriLife program. And here in Tarrant County, it's Tarrant County AgriLife Extension. And what we do is we provide volunteers to do some of the things that they can't do and to free up the staff members to do things they need to do. So we can dig up plants, we can plant seeds based on what the staff members here tell us. And Bill can explain that a lot more. But we can help do those kinds of things so they can do their important stuff like, I don't know, fill out surveys for your bosses or something like that. We help improve public access. And we try to increase support and awareness. I'm going to mention something. I decided not to add it to the PowerPoint. We are not a political organization. We must be nonpartisan. Why? Because we're under the sponsorship of these two organizations. Now, each of us individually has our opinions, and we make donations individually to whichever organizations we choose. But as a group, we are non-political. And that actually makes our lives easier. Supporting urban wildlife. Okay. Where is Ryan? I was going to ask Ryan to tell us what she saw. Was that today, Laura?
No, on my last night.
On your what?
Night hike.
Night hike. Okay, Laura has a night hike. Is she on her way?
Oh, you want her?
Yeah. If you want to know, well, what urban wildlife do we have in Fort Worth and Dallas? What did you see on your night hike with Laura, and Laura didn't think you'd be able to see it?
A beaver and a copperhead.
And that was here at the Nature Center.
I've seen everything but a bobcat. I'm ready. I'm waiting. Alligators, coyotes, wild hogs, all the things.
Yay, Melinda. Our leader has made it.
I'm so sorry, y'all.
That's all right. I'm going to keep going with the PowerPoint to give you a chance to breathe. And we do some science and data collection. I don't know if any of our members that are present do what is called data collection for researchers. Yeah, iNaturalist, yeah. Okay, Mary Beth, next slide. Next slide.
Okay.
In the state of Texas, since 1997, 14,000 volunteers have been trained. Yeah, I think that's amazing. 4 million hours of community service. And it's a little tricky to explain the monetary value of that community service. So I'm going to avoid explaining it. But according to the state, that's a value of over $95 million to the state. And you can think of it this way: what we are able to do to support our natural habitat allows those funds to go to other important things, right? And the outreach to almost 500,000 youth and adults every year. One thing you'll learn about Cross Timbers is that we have about 10 or 12 projects that are pollinator gardens. Wildflower gardens that attract bees and butterflies and wasps and hummingbirds, all those pollinators. Well, in any park where there's a pollinator garden, people are going to walk through there and they're going to read the signs and they're going to say, oh, I don't have any of these plants in my yard. No wonder I have no bees or butterflies in my yard because I'm using the wrong plants. Next slide. I don't know exactly what acres of habitat enhanced means, but I'm sure Michael or Laura or Benjo could tell us later. 2,400 miles of interpretive trails, a whole lot of awards. And you guys, if you hear some of us talking about the state office that works with us, that supports us, and you think, why are these people always talking about the two folks in the state office? It's because they have done this unbelievable work over the last 20 years to make this program so amazing. Next, I'm not going to read them all. Next. Okay. Are you ready for what do I have to do to join this awesome group of nature nerds? Well, first of all, of course, you have to complete the application. The application is open through June 30th. I set it so that you can, you may find out, oh, let's see, I thought of something, some volunteering I do that I forgot, but going to the open house, I thought of this other thing I want to add to my application. I did set it so you can go back to your application and update it. But June 30th at midnight, at the end of June 30th, 11:59 p.m., we'll close the applications. I hope that gives y'all plenty of time. So the first part is the class. We call it initial training, that first 40 hours, classroom and field instruction. Melinda and some of the other folks will talk about what that is. We talk about classes and field trips. Okay, they'll talk about classes and field. If you've never done these things before, that's okay. We get it. We'll help you. Then every year, well, and to certify 8 additional hours of what we call advanced training. I mentioned it earlier, coming to meetings, attending our monthly meetings, you can get 10 hours of advanced training a year just by attending the meetings. And there's a huge list that Carol, I tried to print it this afternoon, and guess what? My printer said, no, sorry, I'm going to eat every sheet of paper. So it's on the website and we'll show you that. And then 40 hours of approved service projects. There's another sheet with probably 40 different project options for you. And we can put in another plug for Fort Worth Nature Center. There are at least 2 groups where you can volunteer here at the Nature Center. Bill, if you don't mind, when do the greenhouse volunteers work?
Well, greenhouse and the natural garden meet 9 o'clock Thursday morning. And then on Saturday, probably Brian, I think they meet Saturday morning for the natural garden. But we work in the restoration greenhouse. So some of that enhanced lands that we've grown, I don't know, over the last 15 years, probably several hundred plants a year that we put out in the Nature Center, where they remove privet or the construction project or something in one area they want to enhance.
Prevent erosion.
Yeah.
And get rid of those horrible invasive plants. Yeah. Here is some of the topics in the basic training or initial training. Learn about what are historical naturalists. Essentially there are 4 units: aquatics, forests, prairies, and urban wildlife and urban ecology. And so there are a total of 10 classes. Y'all are going to correct me, right, when I get this wrong. 10 classes that meet. Most of them will meet here, as the handout says, in the Nature Center. They're about 3 hours each, 10 weeks over August, September, October, and 4 field trips. And 2 of the field trips are again here, the aquatics field trip and the forest field trip. And it depends on who the leader is as to where the prairie field trip is and where the urban areas are. And again, you'll learn a lot more about that. You can't absorb it all in one day. We have a curriculum guide, and part of your fee for participating is to purchase this curriculum guide. I have to say it's still available. It's only available. That is not, I'm sorry, I said that incorrectly. It's less expensive on paper than it is to order it through Amazon online. Last time I looked, and that's unusual. All right, we can go past that. There is an annual meeting. I happen to have a slide there for 2018. And this fall in late October, the annual meeting is in Houston. And you might think, well, Houston, how can that be nature and so forth? Well, the folks in Houston would be glad to tell you of the hundreds and hundreds of locations near, in and around Houston that is wildlife. You're going to learn all kinds of things about the service projects besides the pollinator gardens and working here at the Nature Center. Some of us have done butterflies in the garden at the Botanic Gardens, and they started again this year after a 2-year stoppage. I happen to know there's a young man at the back who wants to, I'll sort of begin to get the board interested. Evan, there's a young man at the back that knows of an area that needs to become a project. Is that in Northeast Fort Worth, or where is Richland Hills? Yeah. There are some statewide projects. I haven't had much experience with the statewide projects. There are actually some online projects. And most of us think, I don't want to, I'm joining the Master Naturalist, I don't want to be online. Well, sometimes, you know, if you had a baby 3 weeks ago and you can't leave the house for 4 hours at a time, you might be happy to have a little online opportunity to do something useful. The project I'm thinking of is for BRIT, Botanic Research Institute of Texas. And with a couple hours training, you can identify, you can, if you can read cursive, you can help. Okay, because there's these documents that were written in cursive and they need us humans. The computers evidently are not good enough to, and these might be handwriting from botanical specimens that are 100 years old. So it's not just cursive, it's 1922 cursive. You know, like your grandfather or your great-grandfather might have written. And if you think, oh my, I'm scared, I might not do that well. Well, they have someone who checks your work, right? But you still speed up that person. Okay, next. You'll hear about Lindheimer. You just get to hear his name the first time now. Next. What's in it for you? If you like to be around other people who love the outdoors, I'm not a camper, but I love the outdoors, that want to learn, you know, why did that beaver do that? Or what did they, you know, how big is the biggest alligator here in the Nature Center? You know, and oh, can I go out and help wrangle it or something? I'm not sure if that's allowed, but maybe you can always ask. Right? If you think that would be really, or maybe you're into seeds and plants and not creepy crawly things. That's great too. I have made connections here. Mary Beth, I know, we've made connections and learned about the Master Gardeners program, the Sierra Club program, Audubon Society, Native Plants. Wait, tell them a little bit about what you do with bluebird boxes, if you don't mind.
Okay, so there is a project through Cornell University to look at nests, and one of their projects is to make sure that bluebirds are making other bluebirds, that they're, you know, procreating. So there are bluebird boxes that are placed along the Trinity River. And once a week, I walk 3 miles. It's a 3-mile round trip, so it's a 1.5 out one. And I check 6 boxes. So you go up to these little wooden boxes. How many of y'all have seen a bluebird box? Okay, very good. And you knock. They don't have doorbells. You just knock. And you see a little head in there sometimes, a little female. And then you open it up. Have y'all ever done this? Anybody here ever done this? Okay, you open up the box, and if the mom is in there, she'll either fly out, or maybe she's not there, and you get to see the babies. And you take this little mirror that's like the thing they use to look at your teeth, you know, and it's on a little stick, and you see the eggs, or you see the little tiny babies, or you see the big babies, and I love it. So that's one of the volunteer things.
Thank you, Mary Beth. And next time we're
It
gonna,
goes into a database. I report it, it goes into a national database.
so it's really useful.
Yes.
Yeah. And next time I'm gonna remember to have the speaker come in front of the camera.
Oh, I will.
Next slide.
I would have broken the camera.
Oh, and learning. I do this to learn. Next slide. Staff members of Parks and Wildlife and AgriLife do appreciate us. Next slide. I think Sam wrote this. Again, you're saying, who's Sam? Sam is a Parks and Wildlife biologist who is from this area and now works over at Cedar Hill State Park.
I don't know.
Cedar, yes, Sam Kieschnick. And now you can see why we call him Sam. And he is the most enthusiastic person and one of the best teachers of nature I've ever met. So after you send in your application, then we'll have a committee that meets via Zoom, and we go through all the applications, and we are able to select about 28 people. There's a limit to the class size, and it's just the way it is. Just what we can accomplish. But you do sign, you do sign at the end or click I agree. And we wanted to highlight the volunteer pledge this year. I understand that for the training made possible, I will volunteer at least 40 hours of my time toward approved projects in Tarrant and Parker counties. And I understand that I will become a certified Texas master naturalist when I complete both the training and the volunteer work and meet other requirements. I understand that to remain active after I initially certify, I must complete 40 hours of volunteer service a year and 8 hours of advanced training. And we do want to say the program serves people regardless of socioeconomic level, race, color, sex, religion, disability, or national origin. We seek to provide reasonable accommodations for people with disabilities, and let us know if, for example, on field trips, you're going to need extra help. And that training at CTMN.org, I think every single one of you has already successfully sent an email to training, right? And that goes to our group. So I'm going to stop for a while. And Melinda, I have introduced folks. Have you caught your breath now? All right. Melinda is our training director.
So I know you guys have promised snacks and refreshments, and finally, I'm a little late, but please have some snacks and refreshments during the break. I really apologize. This is not a great day for traffic. Anyway, so my name is Melinda Tajak. I am the,
Melinda, should you get in front of the camera?
I'm so sorry.
Thank you for thinking of that.
Am I now?
Oh, let's see.
Yeah, you can see.
Get up a little bit closer.
Okay.
That's good. That's good.
Okay. I love this part. It's my favorite. But anyway, so I'm the training coordinator for our chapter. And we have a really great group of folks this year that are on our training committee. And if you guys could all raise your hand, you training committee folks. So these are the people that are going to be here most of the time whenever we're having classes and field trips that you can kind of lean on to help you out if you have questions. And of course, I should be at virtually everything, hoping this year. And we've got, first of all, I want to say thank you to the Fort Worth Nature Center for allowing us to have our program here. They've always been a really great partner for our chapter. And it's a really amazing facility. If you guys haven't taken time to visit and come out and take a look around the property, it's really a great place to learn more about nature. And Michael Perez is going to come speak to us in just a moment. And he is the person who really helps us coordinate this program. He helps us get great speakers. He's at almost all of our meetings, and he does a really great job. So I just want to say thank you to the Nature Center. Also, all the other Nature Center staff, thank you guys so much for helping us facilitate this program. And if you have any questions for me, I'll be here as long as you guys want to be here this evening. So for the moment, I'll go ahead and introduce Michael, if you want to come say a couple words to the group. You've got to stand right here.
Spot.
It's right in this area.
It's right here. All right. All righty. Again, thank you, Melinda. My name is Michael Perez. I'm the education manager here at the Nature Center. And we see great value with this program. And it's so excited to see y'all here. We've been partnering with the Texas Master Naturalists for over 20+ years, housing the training here at the Nature Center. And we believe in the program. So that's why we want to stay attached to the program. Sharon mentioned the curriculum. So we have different components. We do aquatics, we do forests, urbans, and also the prairie systems. And the training will be conducted, I think the first week you'll be at the Botanic Gardens, but then after that, the training will be here. So you found us, those who are sitting in seats, and you'll find us as well. And we'll invite y'all and encourage y'all to come out and attend the training. But what's so fascinating about this program, we talked about some of the whys. The city of Fort Worth is the 12th largest city in the country. The 12th largest, just wrap your head around that, the 12th largest city in the country. And to have a 3,650 acre park in the backyard, it speaks volumes of the vision of the city and our urban area. And that also, that doesn't even include all this other areas around Fort Worth as well. So we have a big piece of land. We have a big responsibility. And y'all are taking the first steps of that responsibility of educating the public about the importance of our natural world. And I think with all of our past and current, I guess I should say, members of the Cross Timbers chapter and to the potential future members, we're in great hands. As far as the why do we do this? And just today, just an example from today, we have summer camps here at the Nature Center. We had a summer camp group of first and second graders, essentially. And seeing the excitement on some of the things they learned today is kind of what invigorates me and what encourages me to continue doing what I do of educating the public. And I hope you have that opportunity to do that too. I think Sharon mentioned Bill Collins. He does a lot of work with the greenhouse, but there are so many other ways that you can volunteer. There's the sweat equity of pull and privet, working in the beds and flower beds. But just we have dosing programs where you can actually lead tours for kids and adults. So there's a lot of work to be done, and we're excited that you are here to answer that call to help promote our natural world and the importance it is. So thank you so much for showing up here in person and also for you virtually. So we're excited to get you on board and find you a place. So thank you very much.
I think now we're going to go. By the way, this is a textbook that you will receive when you take the class. It's a really great textbook. So I just wanted to show this to you guys. Show this. Oh, so sorry. I keep forgetting. I hate this. Right here. So I'm going to just like pass this around and let you guys kind of just take a look at it. And I guess now we're going to start the short video. Okay.
We can always go You know, on the other side of the world, there's something that needs to be conserved when there's actually things right around the corner that need to be conserved and are important to our natural resources. Having been an urban biologist, it was always kind of a challenge to kind of get people to think about what's right in their own backyard. And master naturalists play an important role in being able to do that.
What we as urban biologists began to realize very early in the inception of the urban program in Texas Parks and Wildlife was the need to clone ourselves, because we were absolutely in so much demand to provide technical guidance on ecological systems that we could not fulfill the need.
We realized that if we didn't have a core of volunteers we could draw on for that, that it was going to be really difficult for us to reach very many people.
People working in conservation and resource management at the city, county.
Okay, so how do we do it? Oh, gosh, it's been so long since I've done this. Okay, we need to go back. You know,
You guys on Zoom can't see the whole program, so
What page, can they not hear it or can they not see it?
they're not seeing the video through the Zoom.
Got it.
Okay, so there's this, right?
Oh, no. Oh, I'm sorry. This is what I need to do. I need to share
And then
the
make sure
screen.
you do the volume.
Yes, thank you.
Share sound. Yep. Try again.
Oh, and share the sound.
So you'll just go to stop share.
Stop share.
In-person teacher, online teacher, different.
Share sound.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
You want to start it over, Mary Beth?
And then
Start it over.
you might want to mute so there's no echo, because
Oh.
they'll hear the sound from
I
here.
think I've got it. Okay, let's see.
You know, we can always go, you know, on the other side of the world, there's something that needs to be conserved when there's actually things right around the corner that need to be conserved and are important to our natural resources. Having been an urban biologist, it was always kind of a challenge to kind of get people to think about what's right in their own backyard. And master naturalists play an important role in being able to do that.
What we as urban biologists began to realize very early in the inception of the urban program in Texas Parks and Wildlife was the need to clone ourselves, because we were absolutely in so much demand to provide technical guidance on ecological systems that we could not fulfill the need.
We realized that if we didn't have a core of volunteers that we could draw on for that, that it was going to be really difficult for us to reach very many people.
People working in conservation and resource management at the city, county, state, and federal level will never have enough staff to accomplish the work that needs to be done. So it's through a core of trained and dedicated volunteers, you can really move the needle, really accomplish so much more.
We needed people to be urban biologists who understood the ecosystems, who could go when we were not able to go to public meetings to represent the prairies and the forests of our state, as well as having people be able to know what their local park needs from an ecological perspective and be a voice for that local park. And so it was from that desperate need that this program arose. So the urban program was one of the main partners in creating this Master Naturalist program, along with San Antonio Parks and Recreation Department. Rufus Stevens and Judith Gowan at the time, Judith Green now, they started kicking around an idea of this program of ecologically based extensive training in return for volunteer service hours.
The idea of a Master Naturalist program came from a program in the city of Fort Collins, Colorado, where they trained citizens within their local community to be stewards. I think Rufus or Debbie were at a national conference where they learned about this program, and the idea for a similar program was born back in Texas.
Debbie Reed, who was working with San Antonio Parks and Rec, came to myself and Judith Green and said, I think we ought to start a program for conservation. We should call it Master Naturalist. We said, we think that's a great idea.
And so the three of them nursed that idea, and then together they helped to form and guide that first chapter into what is now the Master Naturalist program.
The sky was the limit as to how we put this together. Had a lot of people with input, really great ideas to help get us started. We were all committed to making it the best it could be.
All of us got to see it from its inception.
It was really a group effort, you know, where there were all these people who came together and made it happen.
Well, as we were putting the structure together for a program, there was a lot of interest expressed from around the state.
The idea of a Master Naturalist program spoke to people. It spoke to that there were lots of people that had that as an interest.
There was so much enthusiasm for what was happening in San Antonio. There was a person who heard about it in Dallas and already had begun to say, we need this in Dallas. And there were a lot of people in the Dallas conservation community that said, we want it now. And so of course I said, okay.
Our Master Naturalist program grew from the chapter in San Antonio and the chapter in Dallas, basically as a groundswell of volunteers who heard about the program, who got their local Parks and Wildlife and Extension staff involved. They said, we'd like to bring this to our county or to our group of counties. Will you help or will you allow us to do this?
And at that point we realized that it was just going to take off.
Because right after that it was Houston and then Austin, and then we were off to the races.
We had just an exponential growth of chapters in the first couple of years as more communities saw the power that this program was going to be able to provide for their local conservation organizations, their local conservation needs, and for their citizens as well.
Even today, this is how all of our chapters start, with the interest of volunteers who work with their local community partners to bring these resources and people and organizations together to offer a Master Naturalist program in their local community.
Today we have 48 chapters scattered across the state.
We've trained about 12,000 Master Naturalists within the program to date.
When a Master Naturalist joins the program, they're usually there to learn about what they see around them. They want to know what these flowers are, they want to know what these birds are, what these bees are, and they want to understand how all of these parts and pieces work together.
First, they get a broad overview of Texas natural resources. After that, their training really specializes on the local natural resources around them. They learn about the land management, land use history. They'll learn about the ecoregion that they're in, the plants, the wildlife, the river and water systems, everything that makes that ecosystem what it is. So they really become experts in their local natural resources. Our volunteers give back over 430,000 hours of service on an annual basis. They're providing management assistance or recommendations to small acreage landowners. They're turning dirt and developing trails, helping us with stewardship projects, research, outreach, and education.
They provide an invaluable education for our public and for our policymakers about the conservation needs of our state.
Master naturalists are having impact way beyond what anyone ever would have thought 20 years ago.
When we think about impacts that the program is making, not only on the natural resource side, the acreage, the trail miles, the people reached through outreach and education, those are some impacts, but there's the personal impacts. They're the ones that bring the tears to my eyes. From a mom who's suddenly become an empty nester, and they've said that this program has really given them something that they can look forward to, give back to their community, get back to their roots. Other people I know have gone through the program and found their soulmate. We have master naturalists that have got married.
They're involved not only in the chapter itself, they take it far beyond. It's become a real integral part of their life.
They do it not only through the projects in their community, through teaching school kids or leading tours, but they take it home with them. And they teach their neighbor, their grandkids. You just see that conservation ethic becoming generational.
Now we have so many people watching these master naturalists, they can't help but fall in love with the resources as well.
I love quotes, and I read a couple books of quotes each morning. And one of the quotes is by Sir Thomas Browne. And he says, "We have within us the wonders that we seek around us." And I think the Texas Master Naturalist Program stimulates the wonders in us to seek things around us.
The Master Naturalist Program simply amplifies what that person is in his or her spirit.
There's something innate about them, about their upbringing, about their experiences, about their personal passion that draws them to these projects. And the program simply helps them to thrive and gives them the tools they need to show that passion to others.
I think there is an untapped pool of people who have that passion for natural resources, yet not the professional background. And that it's a great opportunity through this program to be able to tap into that.
I think that everybody has an interest in some facet of natural resources, be it slugs and snails, that may be your interest. And it may be because you love escargot that you're interested in snails. I couldn't foresee somebody saying, well, there's nothing here for me to volunteer on. It will find you if you look for it.
Every master naturalist I know just has a special heart for our native ecosystems, whether it's for plants or for wildlife or for geology, whatever that is. There's just a love and a passion in their heart for that. And it also just seems to kind of have to come out of them. If you're around them and there's a question about something that you see, they're going to be telling you what that is and why it's there and what its value is. I just have tremendous respect for their knowledge, for their never-ending desire to learn, and for their never-ending desire to want to be outside doing things for wildlife.
If they're out there working for our natural resources, it's going to be okay.
I really like that video because it really does show there's just such a wide variety of projects you can volunteer with. So I guarantee you, if you have an interest that maybe you think I'm probably the only person in the world that's really interested in this, I'll guarantee you there's somebody else out there. Because with me, it was moths.
Yeah.
I was just like, I thought moths were the most amazing thing, and they're absolutely beautiful. And we got a lot of moth enthusiasts in this group. So you'll find something like if you're interested in fungi or mushrooms or whatever, there's definitely interest. So I wanted to take a quick minute to have two of our committee members, Becca and Evan, who just recently graduated from this class last year. They're just going to come and just say a couple things, and then after that we can break and just answer your questions. Becca, that's it.
Yep. Hey, I'm Evan. So we were right where you guys were a year ago. Unfortunately, we had to do ours via Zoom, so we didn't get to see everybody. But we are new to this. I'm sure there are people in this room that know more than I do about a lot of different things. One of the really cool things about the program is you get an opportunity to teach, learn, and volunteer. So it's really great to get involved with the community. Feel free to find us afterwards, ask us questions about anything. We'll give you straight answers from what it's like as a new person. But yeah, learn a lot from it. Make sure you do give back, put in your volunteer hours. That's the beauty of this, is that balance of loving wildlife and our urban areas and finding the blend. You can't really do that without getting out there and doing the work. So we look forward to seeing you all this year. I hope to get to know you all a little more.
Yeah, and kind of just echoing what he said, one of my favorite things about the program is just how much I've learned. I feel like if I didn't know half the plants and birds and everything a year ago that I know now, and that just came from being outside, being around amazing people who have way more knowledge than I do. I don't have any real formal background in science. So I've just learned so much from this program. I've really appreciated that. And yeah, like Evan said, we really hope you guys take advantage of the in-person this year, because we missed that. And the only time that we got to really know each other was at the field trips. And you can really feel, you know, we have a few friends here and there from the program, but we think that it's going to be really beneficial. Yeah, so you guys are really lucky. Yeah.
Thanks for being here. We hope to see you guys this upcoming year.
Yeah. Thanks.
And just, you want to look at the website?
Yes, yes. You got it, but they're still seeing what the camera's showing.
Oh, okay. Let me.
One of the slides that I forgot to talk about on the PowerPoint had the calendar. Your applications due June 30th. Our committee will meet and have the selection done by July 26th. At that point, for applicants that are successful, if you are interested in applying for one of our partial scholarships, we have 5 $100 scholarships. Then you will apply after July 26th, and our first class starts August 15th. Yes, the website is up there now. On our website, which is the quick way to get to it is www.ctmn.org, Cross Timbers Master Naturalists. Under the section called Join Us, you can see that the schedule is already posted. What else do you want to show them, Mary Beth?
Field trips, application.
Information that everybody reads.
Okay. And
Could
then
you
where-
go to the home, you go to where we volunteer.
Then this is the list. Here's a map.
So Mary Beth is showing you the map of our current projects. Bob Jones Nature Center in Louis, is that Louisville?
South Lake.
South Lake.
Oh, Joe.
Yeah.
Some of the places we volunteer.
All right.
And then there's a list. Where'd I put that list?
I don't know, but keep looking for the list. Y'all look for the
There
list.
it is.
This is where my printer failed today. List of volunteer opportunities. Some of these are in Fort Worth, Weatherford, Mineral Wells, Arlington. You'll find something there.
Okay.
And could you show them the page where we log our hours?
Sure. Oh, let me go to our site.
Yeah.
Whoops, get out of here. That little thing, quit it. If I knew what I was doing.
This page will work.
There we go.
We have a system, a computer system, volunteer management system that we use. It's part of Texas Parks and Wildlife. We will teach you what you need to know, but even those folks that are computer native, digital natives sometimes have a little issues with learning how to use it. But that's how you'll earn those hours, is by actually logging them.
Okay,
We're good.
we're good.
We're ready for Melinda to answer questions.
Okay.
All right, I guess we're gonna kind of wrap it up at this point, but I just want to say, you know, if you're really into nature and you're just really passionate about it, and maybe the people at work or your families don't get you, they think you're weird, but you can find your people here, because we're all kind of weird, and it's a really wonderful group of really great people. So yes.
All the applications online and payment for the fees and the courses, everything is online done that right now.
You can pay online, the application's online, and you can pay online, but or you can, if you would prefer not to, we can also do other methods.
Melinda, could you go a little closer to the microphone? Earlier they couldn't.
Sure, sorry.
Yes, the application's on the website.
That's the only site, because when we started this in February, I don't know who the lady was, we filled one out, she says, oh, you're good till August. And I don't know who the person was,
Okay.
but I saw the application, we fill out qualification, all that kind of stuff.
Huh.
We have to do that again?
Yes.
Or was it for Cross Timbers?
Yes.
It might have been for Parks and Wildlife Department.
Yeah, you'll need to do it. I'm sorry, but yeah, you'll need to do it.
We haven't had the application up. It went up on June the 1st. So I don't know what you filled out before that.
But it's probably different. It's probably something different, but yeah, definitely fill that out. And we'll put you on.
Verification that you received it.
Could you repeat
Yeah,
the question?
whenever you're asking for verification about receiving the application, yes. Once you receive it, it might be a couple days, but we'll get back to you and let you know we've received your application. And if you don't hear from us in 2 or 3 days, then or check in with us to make sure we didn't miss you.
Has anybody already filled out the application? Did you get an automatic reply? Yes. They're saying yes.
Oh,
they
okay.
got
I
an
didn't know.
automatic
Then
reply.
that's new this year. So that's perfect. I didn't know that. So
There's a question mark right there.
Johnson County. There is the Rio Brazos chapter is Johnson, Hood, and Somerville. And I don't know if that would be closer for you to volunteer. If you did, I mean, we don't have, okay, let me see how do I say this? Being a resident of Tarrant and Parker County is not a requirement. However, your first 40 hours of volunteer work and all of your classes and things need to be taken here. So it's a lot easier if you are in a different county. For most people, it's easier. Not everybody, there are exceptions. So you can be in this chapter as a resident of another county besides Tarrant and Parker, but you just have to do all of your first 40 hours of volunteer work have to be within those 2 counties. But it's not disqualified. We won't disqualify your application if you're not. How many applicants did we receive? Yeah, we got about 40 last year, I think.
How about attendance, Melinda? The attendance the attendance requirement is fairly strict. Would you talk about that?
Yes, whenever you, when we really encourage you, if you wish to take the program and if you have a vacation planned, maybe this isn't the year for you because it can be, especially the last couple of years, it's been pretty difficult sometimes to make up classes or to locate resources to make up those classes. It works out a lot better if you're able to attend all of the classes. However, we also are not monsters. We understand things happen and everybody's situation is different. So whenever you do miss something, we do our best to help you line up some sort of alternative class or event that you could participate in that could satisfy that requirement. So we'll do what we can, but it's just a lot easier. Also, the state has kind of cracked down a little bit on our window of makeups for certification. So they've given us a little bit of leeway, but they really like everything to be done within 12 months. And sometimes that can be difficult depending on the situation. Yes.
I'm sure I read it somewhere, but can you give the timeline again on taking the classes and getting your 40 hours? And then the second question would be, are those 40 hours like the different projects? Is it like every week they have certain days that they do it for each project? Or
I'm going to take the second part and then I'm going to let Sharon, because we have some new or somebody because the guidelines from the state have changed a little bit on the timeline. But you were asking about for your volunteer hours. It's whenever I used to volunteer up here a lot. I live pretty far now, so I don't get to volunteer at the Nature Center much, but they'll have a program, like every Saturday's Natural Guard, for example, but you don't have to be there every Saturday. It's like you set your own schedule. And also there's such a wide variety of projects that you can do. You can get as dirty and exhausted as you want, or you can sit at home and digitize documents. So, I mean, there's a wide variety of volunteer opportunities and it's on your schedule. You set it up, you get involved with whatever project you want to get involved with and just, you set your own hours and do
opportunities
all over the place. Yeah, there's a ton of opportunities. And then I'm going to let you talk about
I'm going to highlight another fairly new opportunity. To me, if it's only 3 years old, it's new. Chisholm Trail Park is in South Fort Worth. You take the Chisholm Trail Tollway and you turn left at Sycamore or something, McPherson, one of those streets. And there's a very large City of Fort Worth Park. Not like the no way it's like the Nature Center, but we have a group of master naturalists that pick up trash every 3 weeks and have put some bluebird boxes out there. And you might think, well, I don't want to pick up trash all the time. Well, you don't have to do it all the time. However, if you want to see the cool stuff like the hognose snake and the Massasauga rattlesnake and those kinds of things, well, then when you go either very early in the morning, the leader alternates. It's early one morning on a Saturday or Sunday, and it's late evening. The next time will be a late evening during the week to help folks that are full-time working, regular working hours. So that has been a popular fairly new project for us. Okay, your question, could you repeat your question?
Okay, the timeline between taking the classes
And getting the hours. Okay, sorry, teacher, I'm not going to answer it at the beginning. Once you're approved, then you will turn in your you'll go to the state website and you have to complete all these. I agree that you can take my photo and I agree you can do a criminal background check. And once you're approved through that website, you can begin volunteering immediately. And there are some amazing people who get their 40 hours of volunteering and 8 extra hours of advanced training during the first 4 months. And I don't know how they do it at work. 3 months. But you have 12 months. And if you want to say to me, well, could you be more specific on you have 12 months? I will say, you have 12 months. Now you can, if you want to think of that as 12 months from August 15th, maybe aim for that, but maybe you got pneumonia and couldn't work for a while. And so, your class doesn't end until late October. But it's kind of like those amendments to the Constitution. You can read them and interpret them different ways. 12 months. How's that?
And we do have a little bit of, we have a little built-in wiggle room, but we can only wiggle so much. Anybody else have anything? Excellent question. Excellent question. She's asking, what are we looking for on the selection committee for applicants? The first thing is a spirit of volunteerism. We are a volunteer organization, and that's our purpose for existing. So if you have a good volunteer track record, if you've volunteered other locations, that's one of the big questions on the application is what's your volunteer experience. Also, if it comes right down to it, we like to see volunteerism to do with nature, but we love all of it. So we look for enthusiasm. If you haven't been involved in a project, but you're extremely interested in getting started volunteering, if you find a project and get started on it, that goes a long way. If we see that you're really interested in jumping in and doing that work. So it's like enthusiasm, volunteer history, desire to volunteer, and geographic diversity. We
Parker County and
if you're in Parker County, we really want you. So yes, we go to Parker County. Excellent.
We do accept recommendation.
Oh yes.
Not official recommendations.
Yeah.
But if you know someone who's a master naturalist, make sure they contact us.
Or if you've been volunteering out here at the Nature Center, you might mention to Michael, and we do kind of cross-reference, and we like to see people that are really interested in volunteering. But if you have never volunteered a day in your life, but you're super interested in it, by no means are we are you disqualified. We still want to hear your story, and we want to to see what you might want to offer the group. So yes.
Another thing for your application report, make sure that you can do the classes. If you have like a month and a half long vacation coming up, maybe wait till like surgery coming out, just because class size is limited. So if you already know, like, hey, I can't commit to this year, it won't look bad on you. It might look better on you. Just say, hey, look, this year is not going to work out.
And in the meantime, you could be getting some volunteer hours and setting yourself up for a really good application next year. It's possible. But yeah, I mean, we're going to definitely we probably already, I haven't looked at the numbers. We probably have already gotten 25 applicants, which is kind of what we try to hit. So if you can't do the class and you don't think it's gonna really work out, we got a lot of people that are interested. So we want you. It's not that we don't want you, but we can only mostly due to our field trips, because we have to have a limited size. With the virtual option, it could be a little bit easier to increase our numbers, but with the field trips, it just makes it really difficult to handle a group of more than upper 20s. It starts to get hard. Michael can attest to that. So, and the field trips are extremely fun and wonderful. Y'all have loved those. Anything else from anyone? Yes.
Is there, I don't think all interns, whatever, but is there an intern project that the trainees do or anything together?
Like an intern project for everyone to do together. We haven't really done that, but I would like a class project. I think would be really, we've kind of thrown that around a little bit in the past, but I don't think we've had an official class project yet. But if if the class has a project in mind that they'd like to do, we would love that. Anything else for anyone? Nobody?
Let's have refreshments.
Yeah, and I just want to say thank you guys so much for coming out and just being here. That shows us that you're interested, and we really appreciate you getting out here in this heat and traffic to join us. And also everyone who's online.
Yes.
Keep looking there.
I just learned, and some of these folks already knew, there is a new full-length documentary film called Deep in the Heart. I happened to listen to the program called Texas Standard this morning, and they had an interview this morning with the director. And you might recognize the narrator. All right, all right, all right. And I'm not being political. That's a wonderful documentary about the wildlife of Texas.
And
So
I believe the messages are mentioned in that.
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Okay, are we over?
We're over. Zoomers, thank you. Thank you very much. The roomers are going to have some snacks. Thanks. Bye.
And we'll be here as long as you guys have questions or want to chat.
Or until Michael.
Just want to introduce yourself.
Until Michael turns the lights off. That's how long.